Yes, good morning children. In the last class we have done the physiographic divisions of India. As we know, the physiographic division of India is divided into 5 major parts. In the last class we have done in the last video, that is, so that the first is the Himalayas. I have also taught you how the Himalayas extend from Pamir north to Tajikistan, that is in east. Then we also studied that this Himalayas has been divided into Kashmir Himalayas, central Himalayas and also eastern Himalayas. The next was North Indian plains. The North Indian plain, we have studied that this North Indian plain lies to the east of Aravalli mountains, and the next was the peninsula. So as we know, the India is this triangular part is called peninsula. Is it? So here, this triangular part, the next major division is eastern and western Ghats. So this is the map of India. And this is the triangular part of the bottom part of India. So this triangular part is called peninsula, and this is divided into eastern and western Ghats. Western Ghats, and this is Eastern Ghats. Okay, Western Ghat is lying in Arabian Sea, and this Eastern Ghat lies in Bay of Bengal. So the next fourth major division is Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. Here it is being shown this Western Ghats width is very short when comparative to Eastern Ghats. Is it children? So come on, look at page number 17. We'll go through the paragraph what is written about Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. So these comparison of Western and Eastern Ghats are called coastal plains. These are called coastal plains. The comparison of the combination of Western and Eastern Ghats are called coastal plains. The width of Western and Eastern Ghats is 7,500 kilometers. Is it? So this coastal plain is one of the major physiographic division of India. So let us read about the coastal plains. India is blessed with long coastline. So this is the coastline. Okay, it is extending up to 7,500 kilometers. It lies to the western part and eastern part, and these both the Ghats are having dissimilarity features. Both are not the same in features. Here the width is short when comparing to Eastern Ghats. This Western Ghats just end here, but the Eastern Ghats elongate till at the bottom of the border of India. So here this coastline is wider than the Western Ghats. The Western Ghat borders the Arabian Sea. It is by and large rocky coast. At places, spurs taking off from the Western Ghats have extended right up to the coast. Is it children? So what it is we thought about the Western Ghats? Western Ghats are rocky coast, and it also has spurs. So what is the meaning of spurs? Spurs means that is the projection of mountains. That is called spurs. Okay, so the Western Ghats extend right up to this coast. Its width is also less. So it's talking about the width here. Its width is also less. Rivers originating Western Ghats are short and swift, and hence they form estuaries but not deltas. So what it is being written here, these Western Ghats, the rivers which are originating from Western Ghats are very short and swift. Okay, they form only estuaries. So what are called estuaries? Estuaries are those where the river and sea meet. So these estuaries are salt water mix. So here it is the fresh and salt water where they mix at one point. So those are called estuaries. So what it is called? Estuaries. And here these Western Ghats do not form deltas. What are formed? Estuaries. So what I have said about estuaries? Estuaries are those where fresh and salt water mix. So that is called estuaries. And talking about the Western Ghats. So what we have studied about the Western and Eastern Ghats? Western Ghats is near Arabian Sea and its width is low. The rivers originating from Western Ghats are slow, short and swift. And these form estuaries but not deltas. Here many spurs are formed. So because of these spurs, what are spurs? The projection of mountains. Because of this projection of mountain, these are rocky coast. Okay, so this is all about the Western Ghats. The coastline, the width of the Western Ghats is short than the Eastern Ghats. Now talking about the Eastern Ghats. Eastern Ghats borders the Bay of Bengal. It is formed as a result of depositional work of rivers. Many east flowing rivers using from the Western and Eastern Ghats meet this coast. So what is said about the Eastern Ghats? Eastern Ghats are formed because of the depositional work. So what is called deposition? Many rivers bring their sediments and condiments along with them, and everything is formed near the Eastern Ghats. So here, because its width is very long and it is also east flowing rivers, many rivers which flow from the east side come and meet near this coast. Because of this is called deposit, and many rivers bring many sediments along with it. So these are also called depositional rivers. So because of the gentle slope of the land, rivers flow at lower velocities and deposit the sediments brought with them at the coast. So the main reason is here what is? Because the east flowing rivers flow very slowly, because their velocity is very less and low, they bring all the sediments at the bottom and settle down here. So this is the major reason why these Eastern Ghats have east flowing rivers, and also the sediments are brought down at the coast, and the east flowing river has a slopy land. This is one of the major reasons, because its land is slopy in nature and all the rivers flow at east flowing side. So because this is about Eastern Ghats. So what we have studied about the Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats is Western Ghats are rocky in nature. Okay, many spurs are formed here. Estuaries are formed but not deltas. Estuaries are called where the fresh and salt water mix. And talking about the Eastern Ghats borders the Bay of Bengal. Its width is very long and all the east flowing rivers come and sediment near the bottom, and its coastline is also very long. So this is the major difference between Western and Eastern Ghats. So these Eastern and Western Ghats both comprise a long coastline, and this coastal line is one of the major physiographic division of India, and it is extended to 7,500 kilometers. The next is talking about the island groups today. So what is the next major division of India is the island group. What are we talking? As we know what are called islands today. So here we also find small fragments of land near Bay of Bengal and also here at Arabian Sea. So these are away from the coast line, and these fragmented lines are called islands. India has many small and large islands along the coast of the mainland. These are included in the coastal island group. Besides, India has a two group of islands, one each in the Arabian Sea and in Bay of Bengal. So these islands are away from the coastline. One is formed in Bay of Bengal and other is in Arabian Sea. This is the major division of the major physiographic division of India. So these are the two major island groups here. One is formed in Bay of Bengal and other is formed in Arabian Sea. So the island which is formed in Arabian Sea is known as Lakshadweep, and the island which is formed in Bay of Bengal is called Andaman and Nicobar Island. Most of the islands in Lakshadweep are atoll islands. Now children, so the Lakshadweep island which is formed in Arabian Sea are called atoll islands. So what are atoll islands? So now let's see it. The atoll islands are in ring-shaped island, and here in its borders lagoons are formed. So these are called atoll islands. They are small extent and not very high. So their extents are small and they are not very high. So this is the major physiographic division, and this is one of the characteristic feature of the island of Lakshadweep. What? They are small and they are atolls are formed. So what are atolls? A ring-shaped island where their lagoons are. So this is called atoll islands. Ring shape of a series of islands. A small island form these atolls. Islands in Andaman are mainly volcanic islands. So here the islands in Andaman and Nicobar are volcanic islands. So these islands are formed due to the volcanic eruption, and where their lava is being pulled down and it is formed into fragmented islands. So these islands are formed in Andaman and Nicobar. They are large with hills in their interior parts, which includes an island called Barren Island. So here what the major difference is being shown. Lakshadweep has small atoll islands. They are not very high, but the islands of here Andaman and Nicobar are high because these are formed because of volcanic eruption. So this is the major difference between atoll islands and volcanic islands. So these islands are also called barren lands, which has the only active volcano in India. They are atolls in Nicobar group 2. So here Andaman have volcanic islands, but in Nicobar you have atoll islands. The same similarity of which is in Lakshadweep. So this is the major difference between atoll islands and barren islands. So what we have learned in island groups, one of the major, the fifth physiographic division of islands is what it is? The island group. So here the island group consists of two major islands. One is situated in Bay of Bengal, another is situated in Arabian Sea. The one which is in Arabian Sea is called Lakshadweep. The one which is situated in Bay of Bengal is called Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So Lakshadweep Islands are atoll islands. So what are atoll islands? A ring-shaped coral reef is called atoll islands. Here the land is not very high, they are small in nature, and many small islands form these islands. So this is one of the major similarity of Lakshadweep. The one Andaman and Nicobar. Andaman Island is formed because of the volcanic eruptions, and these islands are also called barren islands. But Nicobar Islands are formed because of atolls. So this is the description and the major physiographic division of India. So here, as we all learn all the 5 major physiographic divisions of India, that India has 1. Himalayas, 2nd. North Indian Plains, the 3rd. Peninsula, the 4th. Coastal plains, and the 5th is the island. So this is all about India. And one thing, children, underline all the main important points what you find in the paragraph, which is going to help you in your exams. The next comes the Brazil. So even a cursory look at the map will make you realize that a large part of Brazil is occupied by highlands, plateaus and small mountains. There are no very high and long extending mountains in the country. So now you go to page number 15, you will find figure 3.2. So what the major difference you find? So here you find that Brazil has a cursory look, very quite different from India. So because of this cursory look, we do not have high mountains as you have in India. India has a long extending Himalayan mountain that start from here from Himalaya and extend to Assam. But here the quite difference you find in Brazil. It has a cursory look. But this Brazil also have plateaus, highlands, and one major physiographic division what you find here, which is great escarpment. So in the lower classes you have studied about plains, plateaus, mountains, islands, but you never heard about great escarpment. So here in this part of physiographic division we are going to learn what is called great escarpment and how it is one of the physiographic division of Brazil. Amazon Basin and in the southwest along the upper parts of Paraguay Basin, there are no white plains in the country. So as India is Vietnam, as you know children, here main part of geography, what is been given, it is given a main similarities of India and Brazil. Here your chapter is compared with India and Brazil. So here you have learned about all the physiographic division of India. Now we are going to learn about Brazil. So here Brazil also have extended plains but not wide. Even the coastal plains are restricted in their expanse. The physiographic divisions of Brazil are as follows. So what have you learned in the physiographic division? The coastal line of India. India has long coastal line of 700-500 kilometers. Though Brazil has a coastal line, but not as so long and as wide as India. So what are the 5 major physiographic divisions of Brazil? The highlands. The second is the coastal region. Third, the great escarpment. Fourth, the plains. And the next is island